Good evening, everyone. We will now begin the of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for blessings and protection received while participating in paradise on earth. A Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamurami no mikoto mochite. Somemi oya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Gimuka no tachi hana. Odo no awagi harani. Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimasen. Ido no o kami tachi. Moro no maga godo tsumi kegare o. Arai tamae kiyome tamae to no yoshio. Amatsu mitsu kami ya o yorosu no kami tachi tomo ni. Ame no fuchi koma no mimi furi tatete. Kikoshi meseto. Kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami. Mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami. Mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoyan shino kami. Mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami. Saki hae tamae. Kannagara tamachi hae mase. Kannagara tamachi hae mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Divine light, shining ever more brilliantly of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be created and purified as we live your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, create our souls with your divine light so that we become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei. May God and Meishu-sama bless. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. The great law of nature. As I marvel at the vast and expansive beauty of the sky, I'm always reminded of God's limitless, infinite love for me. There is always a reason for misfortune. The answer lies in the great law of nature, which governs all the universe. How can we measure or even begin to understand nature's process at work with our limited human mind? Where impurities accumulate as clouds in the invisible spiritual realm, physical purification must occur according to the great laws of the purposes of fire, wind, and water are to act as natural purifiers of the earth and of the sky. The fires cleanse, the winds blow, and the rains wash away the impurities. This is the reason storms occur. What causes the spiritual clouds that activate these storms? Human thoughts and words, they form them. Negative, harmful thoughts of discontent, hatred, jealousy, selfishness, resentment, falseness, and vengefulness form clouds and make the spiritual realm murky and dark. Malevolent spoken words, angry, abusive, condemning, deceitful, form clouds and dim the spiritual realm of speech, which is next in power to the spiritual realm of thought. When the accumulation of clouds reaches magnitude, nature sets its own laws into action and purification begins and it works to bring everything back into harmonious condition. If left alone, to accumulate still more, the negative vibrations formed would be extremely harmful to human life and welfare, as well as affecting the health of trees, vegetation, and especially of crops. Thank you all for attending this evening service and praying together with me, bringing light to those who are in need. Really, thank you very much. We will continue with another 5 minutes of your time studying the teachings of Meishu-sama. The teaching today that we will study is pretty much related to the teaching we just heard today about the great laws of nature. It's about ego and attachment. Egoísmo e apego. So ego and attachment. In order for us to really live a life in accordance with the laws of nature, there are some things that we need to begin to work on in our life. And these are ego and attachment. Let's see what Meishu-sama talks about this. Meishu-sama said that two of our human weaknesses are ego and attachment. In fact, they are so closely related they could be considered twins. A careful observation of any complicated unsolved problem reveals that its reason almost always lies in these twins: egoism and attachment. For example, some ego-driven public officials with an excessive attachment to their offices are eventually forced to quit in disgrace. It's because of their ego and attachment. When business people place the pursuit of money and self-profit before the good of their company and fellow workers, they often lose their fortune in the long run. This is because of their ego and attachment. The over possessiveness of one lover can actually cause the other to seek an end to the relationship, attachment. Individuals who make those around them suffer as a result of being obstinate and egocentric eventually bring about suffering for themselves as well. Egoism and attachment. But a major goal of religion is to help us rid ourselves of our egos and extreme attachments. Ever since I learned these truths and begun putting it into practice, I have freed myself from a great deal of mental suffering. And in every area of life, I have experienced good results. The adage, do not worry about either the past or the future, is wise indeed. Don't worry about whatever is already past. Just forget about it. And don't worry about the future. This is a wise saying. After an individual passes from the physical plane, the physical world, into the spiritual realm, the first and greatest lesson to learn over there is the need to remove any excessive attachment remembered for people or things left behind in this physical plane. They have to eliminate all those attachments they had in this life when they go to the spiritual realm. And as they continue to be released, they grow, they elevate to higher levels. It can take place. In contrast, a failure to do so can result in a loss of mobility in the spiritual realm. It's as if they froze in the spiritual realm because of the attachment. So this shows how important it is to release unnecessary attachment, to get rid of it. It's a training. We can apply this in our daily lives to the practice of our faith. One day, a missionary asked Meishu-sama, but Meishu-sama, what do I do? How can I eliminate egoism and attachment from my life? And then he said, well, all you have to do is think every time, every day, I will remove my egoism and my attachment. Have this in your mind always. When you do whatever you do, you think of eliminating your ego. I'm not using my ego and I'm not using my attachment. So you think about this every time. It's a practice, it's a training. We can apply this in our daily lives to the practice of our faith. That's what Meishu-sama says. In an effort to guide others, for example, to our church, to our movement, you usually do not succeed if you try too insistently. I want you to come to my organization, come and receive it. If you insist, you do not succeed. Even though you may be very persuasive, the result is not good because you are forcing others to accept our spiritual path. And such an attitude is blasphemous to God. So when you wish, that's Meishu-sama's recommendation. When you wish to guide someone to this path, to our organization, to our movement, he says, at first, it is best to talk about our philosophy, but only a little, just a little bit. If the individual shows interest in what you say, it is all right to give you more information, then you talk a little more. Okay? But if no interest is shown at all, you should stop talking to that person about our movement for the time being, and wait until another opportunity appears. This is how we guide people, without forcing, but with love. I believe love is the most important thing we should have when we try to help someone. With this, we finish our study for today about egoism and attachment, and I hope to meet with you again tomorrow at our morning service, where we will be listening to those beautiful faith experiences. I wish you all a very good evening. Thank you very much. This brings to a conclusion our service.